The Philippine political stage is already set for a dramatic 2028 presidential election. The air is thick with anticipation and strategic maneuvering. At the heart of this unfolding drama lies an intensifying rivalry. This is the contest between the country's two most prominent political families, the Marcoses and the Dutertes. Their battle for supremacy is expected to dominate national politics. It threatens to overshadow other critical issues facing the nation. These include pressing economic concerns and complex foreign policy decisions that require careful, unbiased attention from the country's leadership. The future direction of the Philippines hangs in the balance, heavily influenced by this dynastic power struggle. This rivalry is not merely a clash of personalities, it represents a deeper struggle for control over the nation's political narrative and resources. The Marcos clan, led by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., seeks to consolidate its power. They aim to extend their influence beyond their traditional strongholds. On the other side, the Duterte family, with Vice President Sara Duterte as a key figure, aims to maintain its significant political clout. This clout was firmly established during the presidency of Rodrigo Duterte. The political landscape is, therefore, becoming a chessboard where every move by one family is carefully watched and countered by the other. This intense competition shapes alliances and political discourse. The early focus on the 2028 race is palpable. Political strategists and analysts are already dissecting potential candidacies. Ronald Lamas, a seasoned political strategist, has noted this shift. He observed that politicians are increasingly aligning themselves based on who they believe has the strongest chance of winning in 2028. This premature electioneering can distract from current governance. It can also lead to policy decisions being made with an eye on future electoral gains rather than immediate public good. The long campaign, effectively starting years in advance, also strains national resources and tests the patience of the electorate. The consequences of this dynastic feud extend far beyond the political elite. Ordinary Filipinos find themselves caught in the crossfire of competing narratives. The media landscape is often dominated by stories of this rivalry. This leaves less space for discussions on substantive policy debates or alternative political visions. As the nation moves closer to 2025 and then 2028, the actions and pronouncements of the Marcos and Duterte camps will be scrutinized. They will be analyzed for any sign of advantage or weakness. The political destiny of the Philippines for the next decade may well be decided by the outcome of this high-stakes familial contest. The May 12, 2025 midterm elections served as a significant litmus test. They provided a clear indication of the political currents shaping the path to 2028. These elections were heavily influenced by the ongoing feud between President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and the Duterte family. The results painted a picture of a deeply divided political landscape. Neither camp achieved a decisive victory. Instead, the outcome was a political deadlock. Both the Marcos allies and the Duterte loyalists secured a roughly equal number of the contested Senate seats. This stalemate in the upper house has profound implications for legislative agendas and political stability moving forward. Over 18,000 national and local positions were contested during these midterm polls. The sheer number of posts up for grabs highlighted the scale of political competition in the Philippines. While the Senate race captured national attention, local contests were equally fierce. They often involved entrenched political families vying for control of provinces, cities, and municipalities. The midterm results did not significantly alter the balance of power in favor of one dynasty, however, they did solidify the battle lines. The equal distribution of Senate seats means that consensus building will be more challenging. Key legislation may face significant hurdles due to partisan divisions. The implications of this deadlock are far-reaching. For President Marcos Jr., it means navigating a more complex legislative environment. He may find it harder to push his administration's priority bills. For the Dutertes, particularly Vice President Sara Duterte, the midterm results were crucial. The composition of the new Senate directly impacts her political future. This is especially true concerning the impeachment proceedings she faces. The equal footing achieved by both camps in the Senate suggests that any major political maneuver, such as impeachment, will require intense negotiation and alliance building. It signals a period of heightened political tension. The aftermath of the 2025 midterms is thus characterized by uncertainty. The elections did not provide a clear mandate for any single political force. Instead, they reinforced the narrative of a nation split between powerful, competing interests. The focus, almost immediately after the results were clear, shifted. Attention turned to how these new political configurations would influence the bigger prize, the 2028 presidential election. The midterm tremors have set the stage for an even more contentious political period. The path to 2028 will likely be fraught with further confrontations and strategic realignments. A significant development adding to the political turbulence is the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. Scheduled for July 2025, this trial stems from serious allegations. She is accused of making a death threat against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. This charge, if proven, could have severe consequences for her political career and the Duterte dynasty's influence. The Marcos administration has reportedly prioritized efforts to remove her from the vice presidency. This move is widely seen as a strategic attempt to weaken a formidable political rival ahead of future electoral contests. The impeachment trial is, therefore, more than a legal proceeding, it is a political battleground. The outcome of the 12 contested Senate seats in the May 2025 midterms is pivotal in this context. These newly elected senators will play a crucial role in determining Sara Duterte's fate. Their votes will be decisive in the impeachment court. The political deadlock in the Senate, with an equal number of seats secured by Marcos and Duterte allies, makes the outcome highly unpredictable. Each vote will be heavily contested. Intense lobbying and political maneuvering are expected from both camps. The trial itself is likely to be a highly publicized and contentious affair, further polarizing the political landscape. Despite these legal and political challenges, the Duterte clan maintains a strong foothold, particularly in their bailiwick of Davao City. The family currently has 6 elected members in various positions, including Vice President Sara Duterte. This demonstrates their deep-rooted influence and enduring support base. The continued dominance of such obese dynasties, those with numerous family members in power, was a prominent feature of the 2025 midterm elections. At least 18 such dynasties saw their members elected or re-elected. This highlights the persistent nature of dynastic politics in the Philippines, where power is often concentrated within a few families. The Senate itself remains a bastion of dynastic power. Prominent families like the Tulfos, Vilars, Cayetanos, and Estrada Ejercitos continue to hold significant sway. The Marcos clan also boasts 6 elected members, including the President and Senator Amy Marcos. They have effectively consolidated their control in Ilocos Norte, even defeating independent family members who challenge them. Similarly, the Singson clan in Ilocos Sur has been described as a super-obese dynasty. 16 out of 17 family members who ran for office secured key positions. This widespread entrenchment of dynasties across the archipelago underscores the systemic challenges to genuine political reform and broader representation. The pervasive influence of political dynasties has profound socio-political impacts on governance and development in the Philippines. These families often leverage their political power to serve their business interests. This phenomenon is sometimes described as predatory politics. Public office becomes a tool for accumulating wealth and expanding commercial empires rather than serving the public good. This concentration of power and resources within a few families can lead to skewed development priorities. Resources may be directed towards areas and projects that benefit the dynasty, rather than addressing the most pressing needs of the broader population. This system perpetuates cycles of inequality. A culture of utang na loob, or debt of gratitude, often binds voters to these political families. Generations of patronage, where dynasties provide assistance or favors, can create a sense of obligation among constituents. This makes it difficult for new, independent leaders to emerge. Furthermore, the abuse of state resources during election campaigns is a common practice. Incumbent dynasties often have an unfair advantage. They can use public funds and government machinery to bolster their campaigns, further entrenching their power. Rona Ann Carritos of Lente, an election monitoring group, has emphasized the heightened risks of corruption in areas controlled by political dynasties, where checks and balances can be weak. Despite this grim picture, some reform advocates see cautious optimism for change by 2028. The 2025 elections, while largely reinforcing dynastic control, also saw some dynasties face unexpected defeats or reduced influence in certain areas. Reform advocates have intensified public discourse on the negative impacts of dynasties. There is growing awareness of the correlation between dynastic politics, poverty, and underdevelopment, as noted by political analyst Julio T. Hankey. The 1987 Constitution explicitly prohibits political dynasties. However, a crucial enabling law to enforce this provision has never been passed by a Congress largely populated by members of these same dynasties. Encouragingly, there are signs of growing public and institutional challenge to this system. 2 petitions have been filed in the Supreme Court. These petitions aim to compel Congress to finally enact an anti-dynasty ban. Louis Guia of the Democratic Insights Group has expressed encouragement at the impact of anti-dynasty campaigns, suggesting a slow but steady shift in public consciousness. The 2025 elections also saw several media celebrities, such as Ben Tulfo and Manny Pacquiao, lose their Senate bids, potentially indicating a more discerning electorate, less swayed by popularity alone. While the path to meaningful reform is arduous, these small victories and persistent advocacy offer a faint hope for a more equitable political future.